Hello, I'm Willie Stevens.
And I'm Brandy Stevens.
And welcome to the Journey of Us podcast.
Welcome to the Journey of Us podcast, season 5, episode 4, where we're going to discuss building a legacy beyond ourselves.
Yeah.
So, when you hear the word legacy, what comes to mind?
For me, legacy means, what do you leave when you leave?
Okay.
And I say that to say, when I die, what do people remember about me? Do they remember I'm a hard worker? Do they remember that I am a provider? Do they take some of the tips that I've given them along the way to get to the next level? Ideally, that's what I want. I want to make sure that when I leave, these are the things I leave the next generation with.
Mm-hmm. For me, when I hear legacy, I think similarly. Not necessarily money or generational wealth. I think about what people are going to say. Not to sound so doom and gloom, but what will people say at my funeral?
Yeah.
How did I make them feel when they were in my presence? When they look back on their lives, what do they remember about me, our encounters? So that's what I think about when I think of legacy. I also think about the business that I want to leave behind.
Yeah.
I don't want it to just die with me. I want True Beauty and whatever else comes from that to live on, and to people to still experience that part of me even when I'm gone. I want that to live on. The guest experience, the way that they feel, when they walk into the doors, I want that to live outside of me.
So has your definition of legacy changed throughout the years?
Yeah, I would think so, because I would say probably when I was younger, I don't even think I thought about legacy much.
Yeah, I agree, because with me, when I was younger, I didn't necessarily know what legacy was, because I just thought my daddy did it a certain way. I don't want to do it that way, or I did want to do it do it the same way that he did, and so I didn't necessarily give it much thought. Since he's still with us, I'm sure that there are certain things that he imparted upon me that unconsciously I use, because sometimes when I talk, I hear him, and I try to switch it because I'm like, I'm not my daddy, and so I do understand that, it can be unconscious, but throughout the years, I think that I want to make sure that what I leave is different from what I was left with, because the means are different.
Yeah.
I have access to things that my parents did not have access to. And so naturally, my definition is going to shift, because now I want to make sure that our son or our employees, they have the ability to not just look at what they are currently dealing with. I want them to be able to stand on our backs to get to that next level. And so I think that's what the shift has looked like in my life, because I want it to be where now I am able to impart things to them that will allow them to, I guess, expand their legacy definition.
Yeah. But don't you think that we built on what our parents gave us?
Yes, I do think that.
Yeah.
But I think that it has shifted because we are doing things that they did not do.
And I'm sure they did things that their parents did.
Correct. And that's why I was saying that the definition has shifted, not necessarily that it has completely changed.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. So what values do you hope that our son and future generations carry forward?
From us?
Yes.
Well, I think I want him to carry forward that hard work can pay off. Doesn't mean it will pay off, but more so, don't quit when things get difficult, because they're going to get difficult. That is part of the process. Failure is part of the process. And if I can give him anything to, I guess, move forward without us when we're not here any longer, is that failure is a part of the process. Become used to failure, because if you're not going to be willing to fail, if you're not going to push yourself to the point where you fail, then you're never going to get the thing out of you that's in there.
Yeah. For me, the values for my son and future generations, I would say definitely integrity and hard work are important, and I do think that operating from a place of service, because I think that God put that in us to serve one another and to serve Him, and I think that you can operate from service doing anything and find fulfillment. You just have to change your perspective. And I think that when we do find that we serve one another, that we can be prosperous in that. And I would want just specifically women of color to carry forward that we can be successful. We can own businesses, and we can build beautiful families in the meantime.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's this misconception that you have to sacrifice. And although I have made sacrifices, on the family side, I do think that, it pays off and that it's possible. I think exposure is huge. And I think once we can see something different, then we can do it. But it does take hard work. I want to debunk that, because I think people tend to think that, it happens overnight.
Yeah, correct.
And it doesn't. You have to plant seeds for them to harvest later. The harvest that people are seeing now from us was planted, 10, 15, 20 years ago? And we're still planting to this day for what's to come up in the future. And so I think and also realizing that the process is the process. And I think transparency too is what I want to leave with people. Just telling our stories and being open about what that looks like to build something. It's not perfect. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows.
But you can do it.
Yes, you can. That's the thing. You can, but it takes hard work.
Yeah.
And patience.
Okay, so what lessons from our parents and grandparents have influenced the way that we live today?
I would say the lessons from my parents that I've learned was, it's always been like family first. Family has always been very important, and hard work. Yeah. I carried that through. I saw my mom and my dad work hard and come up. We started in very meager situations. The old yellow house that we lived in, my brother and I shared a room up until I was 13 years old, sharing a room with my older brother. And they worked hard, worked on their credit, and they, put money aside to, get another house so that we can, spread out. And it was our American dream. So I would definitely say hard work. I saw my mom get up very, very early and work a physical labor job. So hard work and family is some of the lessons and values that I carry.
Yeah. And I think what I carry something similar. I always think back to how hard my father used to work. And so I always carry with me that that's what a man is. You have to be the protector and you have to be the provider. And I always, I think, lean on that when times get difficult, when times get hard, because I understand that I have responsibilities. My kids don't necessarily care whether I lost my job. All my kids care about is, did I eat today or did I not eat today? And so I've learned that from my father, and I've learned, from some of my, honestly, from grandfathers, what not to do. We don't leave. We stay here, we take care, we go through the difficult times. And so I think I've learned from my father and grandfather, not necessarily on the same side of the family, but
Yeah.
I've learned from all of them.
Yeah.
In an accident, want somebody to fight for you? Who will fight for you? Will, big truck insurance. Will, 18-wheeler accidents. Will, get what you deserve. Will, who will fight for you? Will, car accidents. Will, serious injury. Will, get what you deserve. Will, www.callwillywill.com.
How do faith, family, and service shape the legacy we're trying to build?
I think I kind of alluded to that earlier.
you did.
Our faith in God, I think, is crucial. Grew up, in the church and, knowing how to pray and read scripture and all of that stuff. But I do think that now that I'm older, I have a greater appreciation for it. And I do think that initially I was doing a lot of things because out of obligation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're supposed to fast. Oh, you're supposed to pray. Oh, you're supposed to go to church. Now I do it, and it's at the core of who I am because I want to and because I draw on my faith in God during those difficult times. And when it goes to service as well, serving each other, serving my team, I know, and I've done a lot of, research and read a lot of books about leadership, and it's really all about being a servant leader. And I saw a lot of that growing up too, in church. Serving each other is the greatest thing that we can do as a leader. It's not about being an authority and telling people what to do. No, it's about when the rubber hits the road, can your team count on you?
Yeah.
So I think that shapes the legacy that we're building.
And I will say with me, I'm going to focus more on the faith side of it. Faith is really the core and the crux of everything that I do. When you have big ideas, big dreams, and those things are bigger than you, all you have is faith because you don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
I've been in many situations where I had no idea how we're going to pay for whatever contract that we were entering into. But I had faith because I felt as if the Lord gave me this idea. He gave me this opportunity. He's going to take care of it. That's the Lord's business. That had nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. And so that's how I think, that's what has gotten me to where I am now. And I don't think I'll ever have a shortage of faith. And I push that even with my team now. I want to let them know that, we're going to do things. I don't necessarily tell them I don't know where the money coming from, but I tell them, I need you to make me right. Because I think that this is what the Lord has given me. And I know that in the end, we're going to be able to pay for it. And if I did not live like that, if I did not build like that, then we would never reach our full potential. We would not be where we are today. And so I've never had a shortage of faith. I've always felt like the Lord is always going to take care of me because he's always done so. I don't believe in coincidences. And then even if I did, how in the world we're going to have 1,000 coincidences, And so he's proven himself strong to me. And so I have no, qualms about believing and having faith because I've been shown that he's worthy of me having faith in.
Yeah, he's trustworthy.
Yeah.
At True Beauty Salon, we believe that beauty begins from the inside out. And now, we're bringing that same experience to the Zachary community. And today, we get to show you. Welcome to True Beauty Salon Zachary. Every detail was thoughtfully designed to reflect the experience you already know and love, where beauty, confidence, and care come together. From the elevated finishes to the calming atmosphere, this space was created for you to relax, refresh, and feel your absolute best. The True Beauty Experience, now in Zachary. We're so excited to open our doors and welcome you into the True Beauty Experience. See you soon.
How can ordinary couples intentionally build a legacy without having wealth or public recognition? Because a lot of times people look at wealth as being what
the legacy that they're going to leave. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's more so people must understand that you can do more than leave money. Did you leave an impact? When people think of you, do they think that person right there is a hard worker? They're going to do whatever it takes to get something done. I can trust that person.
Yeah.
Those are legacy traits also,
Right.
that people don't normally think about. And so I think you have to be intentional about who you are, and with being intentional, you have to be able to say that this is something that I am going to leave. I want you to know me as this particular person. I want you to know that I am a person of integrity. Those things you don't have to have money to do.
That's right. That's right. So, as y'all know, I love a good podcast. So I was listening to Emma Greed, and she
Make sure we have a picture of
from the Aspire podcast. But anyway, she was talking about not necessarily legacy, but it speaks to legacy. And she talks about the type of woman that she wants to be. And so thinking about, okay, the type of woman that I want to be, she gets up and she goes to work on time. You know, she puts on her suit and she spends time with her children and she works out. So intentionally, like you said, making the choices of the type of woman that I want to be. So I find myself doing it. And so making choices on, okay, like the woman that I want to be, what would she do in this instance? You know, how would she respond? Does she get up and does she go work out, or does she lay in the bed? Or in other instances, does she decide to get the rest that she needs, or does she work through things? And so making those conscious choices on what type of legacy you want to leave behind, what type of man do you want to be, what type of woman do you want to be, how does she show up in the spaces that she occupies. So that's I think that's a part of legacy too, like you said, being intentional about being the type of person that you want to be and who you want to be remembered as. If Trey could describe our relationship years from now, what do we hope he would say?
Describe our relationship?
Yeah.
Well, I would hope that he describes our relationship as one of love. Two people working hard, whether it's the type of hard that he wants or not.
Yeah.
But I want him to be able to say that they worked towards a goal and they attained it. And they're continuing to go forward. And so that same drive that they have, I have. And so ideally, that's what I want him to say about us.
Yeah. I would want him to say, to look fondly at us, kind of like I look at the Huxtables. Like they both were doing their thing, professionals, but it was clear that they loved each other.
Yeah.
Like he would, you know, say things to her, make her smile, and, you know, they would dance or whatever the case may be. But it was clear that they were in love on the journey. Yeah, they were building successful lives and raising the kids, but they were in love. And so I would like for him to look back and say that about us.
Oh, look at my little Claire.
You said you wanted a Claire Huxtable, but you got a Brandy Stevens.
Even better.
So let's go here. All right. When our journey is all said and done, what do you hope that people would have learned about watching us on this podcast, in social media, build our lives together?
That we're not perfect, that we fail, that we succeed, that we are hard workers, and that we care about not only our family, but theirs too. There it is.
Good. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I would hope I think this is a platform to kind of help other couples to show like our transparency.
Yeah.
That we've been through difficult times. There will be more difficult times to go, but that we're committed to each other and we actually do love each other. And I like you too.
I know you do.
I really do. I do. And so I would hope that they look at that and see that there's no perfect couple.
Yeah.
And I hope that they look and see that don't compare us. We're sharing our experiences, and hopefully what we've shared, I would hope, helps them in the future.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one size fits all. And what works for us may not work for you, but maybe you can look at what we've done and find what works for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe.
And catch us next time on
The Journey of Us podcast.